I'll ask you a whole lot of things. First off, the big story is the Grammys,
Yeah.
and you are the last winner in the Zydeco category.
Yeah, man. And I was saddened when I got struck by it, and they told me that this is it. It's the last. This is the last time we got the Zydeco Grammy Award category. And it's like 8 years we fought to get it. And only 4, huh? That's it. They poured the rug on us, you know. But you know what they said? We're not like inviting you guys to come back. We're just going to be narrowing it down to about 78 categories. So 31 categories were dropped, and we happen to be one of them. But they're going to put us in the best regional roots music category that consists of Native American, Hawaiian. And it's like, man, that's okay. Here with my Zydeco family, my Cajun family. And, but, you know, I'm still enthused that we still be able to submit our CDs to win a Grammy. But how beautiful it was just to have our own category. For those 4 years, I really enjoyed it. I really, really did, knowing that we got our own category. We can brag about it, we can talk about it, we can be happy about it, you know, because it's been time, it's been long overdue, you know. And for us to go out and win it, to be the last one on it, we're going to take it, we're going to celebrate it, and we're going to milk it for what it's worth.
How did you get started?
My grandfather played the music, my daddy played the music, and my father taught me how to play instruments. And we had it at the house at all times. What the kids got today, they got the Wii, the Xbox, and they got all the PlayStations, and we had equipment to play with. And that means band equipment, because Daddy was a musician. He had his music at home, in our utility room at all times, and we were there learning how to play this music. And so being that my grandfather, my cousins, Baby and Calvin, they're always in the music business, and my daddy always kept the instruments around. So guess what? Kids always want to get involved with something. So yeah, learning from my family is how I got it.
What instrument did you learn to play first? You're most associated with the accordion.
Yeah, but I've been learning. I learned the guitar, learned the bass, drums, and then accordion. You know.
How old were you when you first picked up an instrument?
8 years old. I started strumming on the guitar, and then 9, of course, you move on to the bass. And then between 8 and 9 combination. 10 playing drums, and that was my first gig with that. I was 10 years old.
Where did you play?
I played at a place called the American Legion Hall in Church Point, Louisiana.
Church Point.
Yeah, that's where I'm from, Church Point.
How long, or take me through your progress from the time there at the American Legion Hall in Church Point to today?
Man, big difference. I mean, 77, I was 10. And coming up in that area, listening to the funk and soul and blues, man, the music. Music was our medicine, man. You know, for the family, we had our problems. If we had our problems, we picked up an instrument that solved our problems. In these days, people are depending on too much on the internet, this new thing of life, you know. And back then, we just went as family, man. Says, you know what? We're gonna pick up an instrument. We're gonna play. All our trouble's gonna dismantle. You know, from that day in that era, coming up, listening to the music, growing with the music, it was a healing. It was a healing, man. So spiritual healing somewhere in music. Today, everybody's depending on too much of everyday life to just, you know, maintain. But as far as me as a musician, I'm gonna still go back to my roots. That's where I'll go.
You have siblings.
Yeah.
Do they play as well still?
Yeah. Well, some of them do. My brother, little brother, playing. I have a son that's an older son that's playing, but I wanted him to learn music, you know, and understand music where I came from, because they don't teach that no more. That's gone. When I was a little boy, I used to go with Daddy and Mama all the time to clubs, church dances, festivals, fairs, wherever the music was, I was there. But the kids don't do that today. They go to the park, they playing Wii, they playing PlayStations, and it's like, what happened here? You know, y'all growing up in the Carrier family, you don't play an instrument? That's kind of unlike, you know. But for me today to see that, to keep it going, I do the best I can, and I try to promote it, and I try to get my kids involved in playing music and continue the tradition.
As a Grammy winner, I imagine you have had a lot more exposure to the country and the world, not just South Louisiana. Tell me about probably the most unique, most interesting place you've been to date.
Well, man, you know, before the Grammy issue and the Grammy deal, I left at the age of 19 years old. I was traveling with a band called Terrence Simeon and the Mallet Playboys. We traveled for 2.5 years all over the United States, Canada, Europe, Hawaii, Alaska, you name it. All 50 states we were there. Went over to Europe a few times.
But for me to be traveling with that band, I said, man, you know what? It's time to pull my band together. So '89, I formed Chubby Carrier and the Bayou Swamp Band. And I traveled 275 dates a year. You look at the map, Chubby's been there. If I hadn't been there, I passed through it several times. Then I went over to Europe. Then I went to North Africa. I went to, you name it, man. We just traveled so much. I was one of those Zydeco musicians that wanted to take it as far as I possibly can. I wanted to see how far I could take it and introduce the music to the world. That's what I wanted to do. And nobody wanted to say, man, you crazy. I ain't doing that. I can't believe you're going to leave Church Point and you're going to be in Connecticut, New York, and Rhode Island. I said, yeah, with Zydeco, you crazy. No, I wasn't. I was left 26 years ago, and I don't regret none of it. I introduced the world to Zydeco music. I was spreading the Zydeco gospel, baby.
Let me ask you about a few musicians, all genres. Get your thoughts on them. Let's start off with Buckwheat Zydeco.
Buckwheat Zydeco was a pioneer and in his own time because he was an R&B player. He played B3. He was one of those kind of musicians that was just versatile. But then he moved on. He joined Clifton Chanier's band in the '70s. Then he started his own band, Buckwheat Zydeco. But man, there's another guy that traveled 275 to 280 dates a year, you know? But for what he did, he took R&B and Zydeco and blues and made it into one. I admire that.
Doug Kershaw.
Doug Kershaw was known as the Cajun country fiddler. And you see Doug, man, you can get up there, you can hear Cajun across between country and bluegrass and high energy, man. You know, I'm not a fiddle fan, but when I watched Doug play, I couldn't wait to watch him play. So, man, all kudos to this man.
Do you listen to any other genres of music outside of Zydeco, Swamp Pop, and Cajun?
Yeah, man, I listen to blues, I listen to country. A lot of times when you're a musician, you want to hear just a little bit of all of it, especially in the day, you know, like between the R&B, the soul, the country, the blues. That all, if you listen to the music in Zydeco, it all comes from somewhere. It's all come together.
Yeah.
You know what? It's like a good gumbo. And whatever you got, you throw in the pot. It's going to add just that flavor. You know what I mean?
So when you're in your vehicle, what's on Chubby's playlist? What's in your CD player if you have one?
A lot of blues. I like blues, man. I like blues. I listen to the blues, and then every now and then when I'm ready to change the pace a little bit, I go back to my old 8-track tapes.
Still got the 8 tracks.
Man, it's funny. We just seen them at the radio station. That's what made me think of that. You know, Ohio players, the Barcades, all these guys, man, was just kicking it, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah. So I grew up in the 70s. I was one of those kids that grew up in the 70s listening to James Brown and all those guys. So I go back to that after I'm done with the blues.
Albert Collins.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? I played with Albert Collins in New York. Opened up for me, came up to say, son, he said, I'm going to tell you something about that. You're going to go a long way with that sound, man. I like that. What they call it? I said, I remember seeing Clifton Chenier back in 1962. And that man was singing the Zydeco, singing the blues and singing it in French. And he said, man, he was telling me these stories, man, because these guys got stories, you know. And I was like, wow, man. But he adored me. He was telling me to go keep doing what you're doing because it's going to take you places.
That has to be quite an honor to have somebody that you looked up to and listened to tell you that.
Yeah, I was 22 years old when he told me that. You know, it's like unbelievable. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. Your music going to take you some places.
Lightning Hopkins.
Lightning Hopkins, I never got a chance to meet, but man, my daddy used to play his music all the time. Lightning Hopkins, Guitar Slim, all the time. That's how I like
Guitar
the blues.
Slim, yeah.
That's how I started liking the blues. Because daddy would play Lightning Hopkins and Guitar Slim in the car all the time. And I was just listening to it and I said, Dad, that's some good music there. Oh, you see that boy? You can't touch that boy. That's Lightning Hopkins. That's Lightning Hopkins. I said, oh, okay. But you're talking about some pioneers and some legends of blues. Lightning Hopkins, Guitar Slim. All those guys, man.
Well, there are people out there that believe that you're doing that kind of thing for Zydeco.
That's exactly what I'm getting told today, man. They said, you're doing it for Zydeco.
That's your mission.
That was my, and you know what, it wasn't at first. When I left, I just did it because I said, I love the music. My grandfather, my daddy, they all graved the road. And he said, son, we're done. We can't go no more. We're passing the torch. You go pave the road now. And I paved it. You know why I say that? Because I brought home a Grammy Award. You know, and that's the only thing that you could do is win a Grammy Award. And I guess I said, well, Daddy's in heaven. I said, I paved it, man. You know, here it is.
So what's next for you? This weekend's the Crawfish Festival here in Lake Charles. What's next on Chubby's schedule?
I'm still making plans to go to Disneyland. I ain't been to Disneyland since I won the trophy.
You still play a good number of dates?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
playing
yeah.
275 a year though?
Not 275. No, maybe 125.
125. You get home often though.
Yeah, I'm home every day, Monday through Thursday. I'm only working on weekends now. Yeah, and I just told my wife, I said, I'm going to slow down after 25 years. Been there, done that. That's enough. Then I got nominated. Then after I got nominated, I win the doggone thing. So we're going to see what takes us from here, you know. But I still got a little gas in the tank, you know, and I still want to continue writing songs and putting out albums. I'm not done yet. Yeah, I'm not done. I still got some more in it.
When you're home Monday through Thursday, are you able to actually stay home, relax, and take it easy?
I wouldn't say relax because that's when the work starts. Then you're dealing with the promoters. You're talking to booking the next shows, the commercials, or calling, or TV or radio. It's constantly that during the week. And being that I'm a Grammy Award winner, yes, I'm getting phone calls from every person I can think of that's into TV, news, radio, because they want to talk to the Grammy Award winner of Louisiana. How awesome is that? Small town boy wins a Grammy. You know, just want to know your thoughts. So now it's not I ain't getting no relaxation. I get a lot of people calling in wanting to talk, you know. And now since we lost our category, it done started over again. They calling back. So how's it feel to be the last one to win the Grammy in that category? So now during the week it ain't relaxation this week.
Chubby, thank you for visiting
Thank you, my
with us.
friend.
Appreciate
Thank
you,
brother.
man.
Oh yeah, man.